I bought some things here, and my wife had to go back and get what is not here that you need to see. If you can't get it, I'll get it later on in some other service. But what you can count on in CBS and NBC and ABC and national radio and all channels is you never get the news. They give you just what they want you to give, and the rest they hold back. And as a consequence, sometimes they bring these things up, they're new to you and new to anybody, and then no college student would know anything about them. And I bring them to you from time to time. I want you to be well informed. I want you to be much better informed than you are by watching the 10 o'clock newscast. And you won't get this information in a newscast you're going to look at in the next 2 years, the last 10. But you need it. And what's happening is you have a new religion coming up here called Islam, which is Christianity and Islam joined together. That's what you got. And what you got here is what we call the Sharia. These are the Islamic laws. There's what the Bible, what the Sharia laws say about you ladies. And what Hillary Clinton is doing over there, I don't know. But any one of those fellows out over there would laugh her out of her position. Now, those are those there, and they're written by Arabs, and just to make sure I got the right thing here, I have the Arab text in the back by an Arabian. And this stuff is sold at the bookstore. But this will be the only Bible books, the only Christian bookstore where they'll have it. This one here is called Behind the Veil, Unmasking by a former Muslim, Abd al-Shafi. And he gives you the lowdown there. And these two here are the Sharia in operation. These are printed by the official printing company that prints all of Islamic literature. And it calls itself Darussalam, to imitate Jerusalem. And it's Jerusalem, a global leader in Islamic books. Companies in Lahore, Sharjah, Jeddah, Rayana, London, Houston, and New York. And these are the Islamic verdicts given in court following their laws. Those are the judge's decision in a lawsuit, both those books. And those books say that if you don't pray 5 times a day, your buddies are to kill you. Right. And they'll watch you and you only pray 1 or twice a day and see what the trouble is. Unless you're real sick, you're to be killed. That's the Islamic law. And the first thing you do when they get in the country is start hollering about the praying in order to place your laws with their laws. So you've got to let them and all the kiddies in school be silent 5 times a day if the kid's in school when the prayer hour comes up. And you've got to stop the traffic in downtown New York if they want to pray in the streets 5 times a day. And then they get into the government, and right now they're in France and they're in England and they're coming on you. That's Sharia, S-H-A-R-I-A, Sharia. And the Sharia are the laws, the Islamic laws, and those are the laws in action with the judge giving the verdict. And the verdict there is if you have a buddy and watch him, keep your eye on him, you spy on each other, and he doesn't pray regularly 5 times a day, he's to die. It also says that if you ladies, any of you ladies or any of your children get converted to Christianity, they're to be killed. That's the Sharia law. And it comes from the Koran, the holy book. In plain words, they never do anything that they do that they don't do it with a religious motive in mind, and that is killing anybody who's a non-Muslim. Now, here are the things that are found in these works here. But the first one here is the Holy Hadith, which is the other writing. And the Holy Hadith, from the Holy Hadith and the Koran, they get their Sharia. The commentator, Ghaliyad de Don de Suyuti, said the Hadith is the commentary on the Koran. This is an Arab, an unsaved Arab, telling you what it is. You can take his word for it. This isn't some fanatical Baptist attacking somebody's religion. Stupid. This is an unsaved Muslim telling you what the hadith is. It is a commentary on the Koran. The difference between the Koran and the hadith is that whereas the former was revealed directly through Gabriel, the Koran was given by Gabriel. Muhammad never wrote it. Gabriel wrote it. And he didn't write it, he spoke it. And then Muhammad spoke it, and then the Arabs wrote it down. Muhammad never wrote one word in the Koran and didn't see it. He heard an angel say it. You see that? Wherever you get that in the 10 o'clock newscast, you ain't going to get it, honey. And you're not going to get it in Congress. Whether you put a Republican or a Democrat, you're not going to get it. This is horse's mouth. Though Gabriel, with the very letters that are embodied from Allah, the latter, the hadith, was revealed without letters and words. Thus, next to the Holy Koran, the hadith is the second source of Islamic law. That's the Sharia. Koran first, hadith next. This is what the hadith teaches, and where the book is found, and the chapter is found, and the number is found. Nobody's pulling off anything. The thing is, you will not take the truth. And when I say you, I am referring many times to Christians. At least 90% of the Christians in America today won't take the truth if it comes out like this. Or you'd be in favor of taking these people and shipping them back where they came from. But you wouldn't do that. All right, here's the Holy Hadith. The Hadith is to be followed exactly. For that which differs from the Hadith to the extent of a hair shall be given up. That is, the Hadith is to be studied exactly, and anything, if it differs, if whatever you're teaching differs from the Hadith in the extent of a hair, should be given up. So you have to go by this. And if you differ from this, it isn't going to be given up in the Hadith. The Hadith is the comment on the Koran. Number one, women are deficient in gratitude and in intelligence. How does that fit your Constitution? Pretty good. Does that fit Clinton Hillary pretty good? Women, not some individual woman, women are deficient in gratitude and intelligence. A man's wife is actually a toy. She is a slave. That's behind the veil. And you read that thing there, he has all the rights and you have none of them. Number two, you can beat your wife or scourge her. That's Bukhari's hadith. The Arab says scourge, but they've translated to English not quite so rough. They say beat, and then the latest one comes chastiser. It said scourge with a whip. And you hang the whip over her bed after you whipped her to remind her she may get it again. And that's what the hadith says. You can't differ from it by a hair's breadth. And the Sharia law will back you up, and when you go to court about beating your wife or whipping your wife, it's perfectly all right, because that's the Sharia. And you get into it by getting politicians into the government and then gradually getting rid of the Constitution and putting in the Sharia. And they're at work at it. Bukhari, Volume 7, page 100. When you divorce, you say to your wife, you are divorced 3 times, and that does it. Page 169, behind the veil. How many wives can you have? You can have 4 of them. 4 wives. And if they get old, you can drop them off, divorce them there, and then pick you up a kid 12 years old. You can have 4 wives all the time. So when one gets to be 40, you get a hold of you like she used to, you just drop her and then pick you up a 12-year-old girl. That's what Muhammad did. And his favorite wife was Aisha. And when she said she was engaged to him when she was 9. According to unsaved Muslim authorities, not according to a Baptist preacher. Will you ever wake up? All right, this thing here, that's how that's done. You have 4 wives, and every time, if they're old, you can get rid of them. Old age can be a cause for divorce and dropping your wife. Holy Koran, Surah 2, verse 236. Quoted by Surah 4:3 is quoted by Ibn Hazm, page 491, volume 6, part 9. That's the Sharia. Well, that's the Sharia, and that's Sharia telling you, lady, that if you want to become get the new religion, Chrislam, you can share your husband with 3 other women. And when you get of an age, he can always drop you and pick up a teenager. That's the Holy Koran of a religion. It isn't some cockeyed thing that somebody accused somebody of. That's the religion. But you're not going to take it. Well, some of you right here aren't going to take it. Now, you know why you don't take it? You don't take it because it'll cause trouble. And we don't want trouble, do we? It'll cause affliction, won't it? We don't want to do that. It'll offend somebody, won't it? Won't it? Might offend some of your relatives' friends, so just pretend it isn't true. And you go on with Disneyland and Fairyland and Disney World with the United States of America, a bunch of dumb, stupid, ignorant people who've lost their common sense, and with it they've lost their brains. Knowing that, who would let that kind of people come in and hold government positions? Who would do that? Now, ain't that something? Would you? Not if you had any sense. All right. That's the way to start Sunday morning. I'm going to preach you this morning on the offense of the cross. And the whole sermon is going to be how Christians don't want to offend anybody, so they avoid it. They avoid being a reproach and getting persecuted by keeping their mouths shut. And if they open their mouth, then there's a leprosy, there's a reproach attached with what we believe. And if you're verbal and speak out for what we believe, you are going to get persecuted and you are going to offend people. Amen. You'll say amen for me? I'll say it for myself. Amen, Ruckman, give it to him. I talk to myself. I enjoy hearing a smart man talk. And again, I enjoy talking with a smart man, you know. That's what an egotist would say. My wife went back to the house to try to find a piece of paper, which I guess she hadn't found yet. But what I've got over there that I found in my digging collection is a newspaper article from 2004. And 2004 is when we went in Afghanistan. That's 11 years ago. And we went in there, we liberated them and got them democracy and set up a new government. And they set up a new constitution, supposedly. And that's where all getting killed right now, messing around with Afghanistan. All they got out of it was a civil war and troops hauled out and GIs killed. That's 2004. And that thing says when they founded I gave this to you, but undoubtedly you forgot it. I gave it to this, when they put up their constitution, they said, what kind of constitution do you want? And they said, the Koran. That's what they had before you got them. So that's the stuff you got after losing your boys over there and spending $8, $9, $10 billion. You got the same thing you had when you began, because it's their religion. But you don't dare say that. You're not in a religious war. You're in a war against terrorism, right? Right? Well, not really. One of our generals killed 12 of his own troops and shot them in cold blood and told them it was religious and helped Allah out. So it wasn't exactly just terrorists. It was religion. The guy that shot him said it was. Allah Akbar. But you can't get it, because if you pass it around and you tell the truth and witness for the truth, you're going to offend somebody. I'll tell you how I got away with it. I got saved from public opinion years ago. I have no reputation to uphold. Mine was ruined years ago. For a while it kind of bothered me, but after a while I got used to it. I kind of enjoyed it. Because I don't have to give a flip what you think anybody else thinks. All I got to worry about is what God thinks about me.